Well, good morning, folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland and Genesis Baptist Church. We made it. Was that an exciting week last week with all them groups here? 4 different churches came from, what, South Carolina, Texas, Montana? Is there one? Yeah. Anyway, people come from all over. It was a blast here. Come on down. We are going to be in Psalm chapter 104. We're on a bunch of different channels on Facebook. Is that right? 110,000 subscribers or? About to be 114,000. Please sign up for Facebook, okay? We're on, let's see, Rumble and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, plus our app. You can get the app, $6,000 a year. If you want to help pay for that, please do. Some folks are donating. Thank you so much. Help support us for that. We don't charge anything. We want to help get the gospel out. If you want to help us, great. If not, get out of the way. All right. So you can like us, share it, subscribe, make a comment, subscribe to our channel, and you might know somebody that needs this message today. This, I think, will really help them. Share it with them, okay? We're open for free. Help us stay that way. Join our 777 club, drdino.com. We want to become a member. I don't check on it. I don't know who's in it. I don't want to know. I'm going to keep plowing ahead with the gospel, okay? So there's our website, Dr. Dino. On over 9 years now, we've been open here in Lenox, Alabama for free. Get our video series, What on Earth is About to Happen. No, I'm sorry. Our creation seminar series, 18 hours, $50. And get a series on what on earth is about to happen. Here we are, Psalm chapter 104. We're going to cover 6 verses. I figured up there's 31,102 verses in the Bible. If we do 6 verses a day, it's going to take 5,184 days to cover the Bible. Take us 14 years. So we're going to cover only 6 today. Psalm 104 is loaded. It's a gold mine with stuff. We're going to try to hurry through some other ones later. Okay. Come visit our ministry. Take the real tour. We're straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles, 65 miles roughly. Okay, Pastor Manley had his group called the Blood-Bought Baptist Camp Meeting. That was pretty cool. That lasted for 3 days. The Blood-Bought Baptist Church Camp. That was awesome, okay? Had a bunch of people coming from all over the place. You could come, bring your group. Had some singing here, finally some good singing instead of mine. And it was a blast. There's our church building inside if you want to come down visit. Those guys played the guitar. But we've provided everything, housing, food, utilities, 17 lakes. Hey, Joe, did you see that tree in the Olympic National Park? Giant Sitka spruce tree hanging in midair. It shows that, look, you might not have too much to hang on to. Hang on anyway, okay? He's just hanging in there. And our duck had babies, and they were ducks. Who thought? Ah. I know evolutionists like to imagine that the duck is related to the elephant. I know, I have a vivid imagination, but that's not science, okay? Come on down, visit Dinosaur Adventureland. Bring your group, Boy Scout groups, youth group, sports group, team, whatever, Awana, bird watchers, we don't care. Okay, let me go to slide number, home, 1640, and we'll get started here. Psalm 104. He sendeth the springs into the valleys which run among the hills. They, what would that be talking about? The springs, give drink to every beast of the field. The wild asses quench their thirst. By them shall the fowls of the heaven have their habitation. The importance of springs. Springs are really important. It's amazing. There are lots of towns in America named after springs. Just in Alabama, let's see, there are 652 springs in this state. And many people build a city there and call it after that, Spring Hill or something like that, okay? In Conecuh County, there's one in Castleberry. It's right down the road here. You get off the exit, off the interstate, it'll say Castleberry this way, Lenox this way. The 100 most popular springs in Alabama. When the water soaks into the ground, several things can happen. Sometimes it can go downhill underground, down and spring up someplace else, making a spring, a natural spring. Sometimes it's a gravel seam like we have all over our Dinosaur Adventureland, and its water soaks in one place, oozes out someplace else, 500 miles away. The spring. There's some beautiful springs in the world, high mineral content. There's Hot Springs, Arkansas. There's Colorado Springs. I used to go there all the time. Yellowstone is famous for its springs. Cities named Spring. Springdale, Springfield, Spring Valley, Palm Springs, Hot Desert Springs, Diamond Springs. Springs are very important. Here the Bible talks about the springs. Almost all the rivers have at least a contributor somewhere along the way that's a spring, sometimes many of them. Springs out of the ground, flows down to the ocean. Isn't that a cool graphic somebody did? That one in the middle, that's the Mississippi Ohio River drainage pattern. All came. See, all this formed after the flood. We covered that video number 6. Anyway, he watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of thy works. He causes the grass to grow for the cattle and herb for the service of man. The herb means vegetables. God makes the vegetables for the service of man. You know, that's an interesting word. The food that you eat will service your body. How many of you have ever seen an automobile service center where you got to take your car in and get it serviced? Okay. Your car needs service. There are some things your car uses, like air in the tires, transmission fluid, differential fluid. It uses them, but it doesn't use them up. Other things your car uses up, like gas and air for the engine. And you got to keep adding more if you want to keep running. Some things it uses, but it doesn't use them up, but you still got to replace them once in a while, like the engine oil, the air filter, and the transmission fluid, etc. God designed your body. He designed the herbs to service your body. That's what he said in Psalm 104. He made herbs for the service of man. Some things your body uses up that need to be replenished. Other things you don't use up, but you use them. Okay? If you ask, how much vitamin C do I need every day? There's no simple answer. It depends on what you do with your body. If you weigh 400 pounds, you're pregnant or lactating, you have genetic issues, you smoke, you have certain diseases, you have infections that have any of the non-communicable diseases, you're going to need more vitamin C. How much gas does my car need? There's no simple answer to that. What do you do with it? If you're drag racing with it, you're going to need 70 gallons to go 1 mile. Not miles per gallon, gallons per mile. I can't tell you how much gas your car needs. Tell me what you're doing with it. Okay, you pull in a semi-truck, you're going to need more. What minerals does the body need? Human body contains at least detectable traces of 60 chemical elements, some of which are minerals. 29 of these elements are thought to play an active role in life and health in humans. These minerals are essential for lots of things your body needs. See, the tree, God made all the plants, the herbs, to put roots into the ground, and some of them draw out some minerals from the ground, some draw out others. Some plants are known for their high magnesium content. So if you're low in magnesium, if you're getting cramps, muscle cramps any place, you're probably low in magnesium. Cramp, usually the bottom of your foot or the calf muscles where they start. Take magnesium, they go away. So you can get spinach. All these plants here are listed. The symptoms of magnesium can include tremor, poor coordination, muscle spasms, loss of appetite, personality change. I know some people that need a bunch of magnesium. Let's see. Complications, seizures, cardiac arrest, low potassium. Your vehicle requires 8 essential fluids to function: gas, air, motor oil, coolant, transmission fluid, brake fluid. Some of them it uses and some it uses up. So your body's the same thing. A car is very complicated. If you don't get enough oil in that engine, you're going to have some problems eventually. Something's going to give out. If you don't get enough certain vitamins in your body, something's going to go wrong. And see, if you took your car to a mechanic and it's making a funny noise, and he said, wow, that sounds bad. Here, put these headphones on and you won't hear it anymore. I think you ought to get a different mechanic, okay? Are you trying to get rid of the symptom or get rid of the cause? Most of the drugs that people take are to treat a symptom. Oh, I got a headache. Here, take an aspirin. Wait a minute. What's causing the headache? I don't know, but this will take it away. That's like putting headphones on so you don't hear the noise anymore. You want to get to the cause of it. Human body has 13 essential vitamins to function properly, 341 nutrient deficiency diseases. There's all kinds of things happen to your body because you're low on certain vitamins or minerals. God said he made the herb for the service of man. There are macro minerals and you need a lot of them, and micro minerals or trace minerals. You don't need much of those. God formed man out of the dust. Thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Out of it thou wast taken, and dust thou art, and to dust shalt thou return. We all go to one place. We're all made from dust. All the flesh perish together, and man shall return again to the dust. Dead men live, together with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in the dust. Then shall the dust return to the earth, and the spirit shall return to God. See, God made the plants to absorb minerals because your body needs them. He said in Psalm 104, 3,000 years before modern science here, he made herb for the service of man. The fact that plants can absorb these minerals by their roots is stunning. It's amazing. Some plants absorb certain minerals from the ground. Others absorb different minerals. That's why you got to eat a variety of plants to keep a diet going. The way plants absorb minerals, you can study that forever in biology class. Foods high in magnesium. See, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, almonds, spinach. Some foods are high in vitamin C. Well, then you got to eat those. Some are high in manganese. Apples are high in vitamin C. He said he made herbs to service your body. And then it says he made wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth a man's heart. Now be careful with this word wine. Wine, oil, and bread, all from one verse. Patrick's going to come on here in a second and tell us about this. God made these things to keep you healthy. And some of you have, hamburger, French fries, and Coke, and you wonder, why I'm sick all the time. Well, duh. Tell you what, pour water in your gas tank and see how far your car runs. Just watch it, okay? You make it glad the heart of man. Oil makes the face, and bread's good for your heart. Wine. Now, red wine contains stuff called polyphenols and resveratrol. You can buy resveratrol. That's the stuff that keeps your heart strong. Let's see. What are polyphenols? All right. Now, the Bible talks quite a bit about wine. Patrick, come on in here and tell us about some of the vitamins and minerals and things that make your heart strong. And we'll get back to wine when you're done here. Good to have you. Patrick's one of the trustees of our ministry. I did his wedding a couple years ago, and he's up in Pennsylvania. If you have any questions on health, Brother Patrick, I got this problem. He will know the answer. Some people have a photographic memory for this stuff. I have a photographic memory, but I'm out of film. Okay. So, Patrick, tell us about your ministry. Urish.ihp, International. What is it? International Health Practitioner.
Hello, hello. So thank you so much, Dr. Hovind, for having me on. My name is Patrick Urish. I'm a IHP, so Integrative Health Practitioner.
We can barely hear you. We need better audio. Get closer. Do something. There we go. I got the microphone right on this dinosaur's head. He's holding it for me. Go ahead. Try it again.
There we go. Could you hear me loud and clear?
Better. Go ahead.
Perfect. So I'm an integrative health practitioner up in northeastern Pennsylvania, where I help people with their health naturally, with natural modalities, natural remedies, and I usually warn people to stay away from the drugs. Like Dr. Hovind said, if you have a headache, you are not suffering from a aspirin deficiency. We're not all aspirin deficient. If you have a fever, you're not suffering from a Tylenol deficiency. We're not Tylenol deficient. God didn't create these things, and we're not ever deficient in pharmaceuticals. We're not deficient in drugs. Sometimes, I'm not going to say they're never needed, but generally speaking, these things could be handled with natural means. So even in regards to this verse, it's one of my absolute favorite verses in the entire Bible. And also the one Dr. Hovind said before, herb for the service of man. Herbs service our bodies, just like things service a car, or things might service your refrigerator. We get serviced by the things that we eat. And real quick, just to touch on that verse, I do want to actually bring up zinc. Zinc is something that, especially in America today, is so incredibly devoid within our human body today. And it just so happens that pumpkin seeds, the pumpkin plant accumulates zinc more so than most things. Pumpkin seeds are filled with zinc. Pumpkin plants love zinc. So I would tell everyone, if you're not taking a zinc pill, get some pumpkin seeds in your diet. They have zinc. And why? Why is zinc so important today? Well, we have within America, our farm fields, a lot of our plant fields, absolutely flooded with something called Roundup. They are flooding our fields with an herbicide called Roundup. And this is to keep the weeds down, get the weeds away. Well, here's the problem with Roundup is it contains arsenic. Roundup contains arsenic, it has very high levels of arsenic. And arsenic depletes the field of zinc, it depletes the plants of zinc, and it depletes our bodies of zinc. It robs our bodies of zinc. And arsenic today is ubiquitous around here. It's everywhere. You test the water, it has arsenic in it. Arsenic is everywhere. And we're getting robbed of zinc. And now what happens when our bodies are being robbed of zinc? Well, right below your thyroid gland, a little below it, you have another gland that is not really spoken about too much called the thymus gland. And what does the thymus gland do is it actually takes B cells from your bones and is sort of a training camp for them and turns them into T cells. So the thymus gland produces something called T cells, which is your memory immunity. This is how our bodies remember how to fight specific infections. Our body has very little, if not any, memory immunity without T cells. This is how our body knows how to fight the flu or knows how to fight cancerous cells. Now, your thymus gland depends, absolutely depends on zinc. And if you don't have zinc, your thymus gland goes from about the size of, a walnut and shrivels and shrinks down to about the size of a pea. And now your thymus gland is totally shot and you can't produce T cells. And now this is why the elderly often, it's so dangerous for them to get the flu, or it's so dangerous for them to get an illness that normally would be easily handled by, younger individuals. But why is it so dangerous for them? Because they are out of memory immunity. Their body has no idea anymore how to fight these infections. It needs zinc to keep that thymus gland healthy. An older trustee of Creation Science Evangelism, Bill Sardi, who passed away about 3.5 years ago now, he would often cite a study where autopsies were done. And autopsies were done on individuals who lived past 100 years old, centenarians, people who made it past 100. And most, if not all, every time were zinc sufficient. And the ones who did not make it to 100, the ones who died before that, most, if not all, were zinc deficient. That's how important zinc is for our bodies. And you can get it, a lot of it, from pumpkin seeds, or you could take a zinc pill. They concentrate it in a pill. It doesn't really matter, too much on the form. Just avoid something called zinc oxide. It's cheap. It's unabsorbable. But hey, we need this in our bodies. This is a huge service to our bodies. And I like to say, if there's one main mineral we could add back in specifically in America, it's zinc. It keeps our immune system functioning. It keeps our blood pressure regulated. It keeps our skin healthy, and it keeps our mood in order. Zinc, think zinc, Bill Sardi used to say. So I recommend adding pumpkin seeds or adding zinc to the diet for service. In regards to now the verse Dr. Hovind has on the screen, wine that maketh glad the heart of man. Well, hey, grapes contain resveratrol. Resveratrol is, I believe, the most important, the most essential non-essential nutrient on earth. Of course, we have, things that aren't really necessary to the body, such as vitamin C is necessary, magnesium is necessary. But then there's herbs that aren't necessarily necessary, but this is the most essential non-essential. Resveratrol is endless what it does, and it strengthens your heart. It is so amazing for the heart. Mice that were artificially induced to have a heart attack, when they were pre-treated with resveratrol, survived, and they survived a lot better, and they were healthier. So what does resveratrol do? Well, the main thing is it's a natural blood thinner. It increases blood flow very well throughout the entire body. And we know that the life of the flesh is the blood thereof. The blood gives us life. And resveratrol greatly increases blood flow. Now, something else is, there's a reason why it makes us glad. Resveratrol is a mood enhancer, makes us glad. How does it do that? Well, we have an enzyme in our body called MAO. The big name, fancy name for it is monoamine oxidase. But what does this enzyme do is it keeps a lid on feel good hormones, or neurotransmitters. So dopamine, the motivation neurotransmitter, serotonin, the happy neurotransmitter. MAO keeps a lid on these so they don't get too high in the body. Well, here's the issue with that is MAO in certain individuals is too high, or as you age, MAO gets too abundant. So now our dopamine goes too low. It keeps too much of a lid on dopamine, and now we lose motivation. We might have mood swings. We might have low mood. Here's where resveratrol comes in. Resveratrol is a very strong MAO inhibitor. It lessens MAO in our bodies, So dopamine specifically could rise higher. And now we have more motivation, higher mood, better moods from resveratrol. Resveratrol is a wonderful mood enhancer. I recommend all adults should be taking resveratrol. It's great for so much. It also is good for something called NAD. If you ever go into health on YouTube or social media today, you probably came across something called NAD. It is everywhere right now. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide is the fancy name for it. But all it does is it energizes our mitochondria. As we age, our mitochondria become less functional. They become in the single digits, maybe 5% functionality, optimal functionality by age 80. And resveratrol really increases in the body NAD, something that really energizes our mitochondria. It gives us energy. So it's good for your heart. It increases blood flow to the heart. It's good for your mood. It's good for energy. It's really good for a lot of things. And Bill Sardi actually claimed that resveratrol alone probably could bankrupt the pharmaceutical industries just because it's so good for so much. And continuing with the
Hang on,
verse,
Patrick.
yes,
Patrick, I often ask people, does Ford and General Motors, do they want your cars to last 50 years?
they do not.
No. No, they want to sell you a new one, right? Does let's see, um, do the tire companies, do they want to make tires that'll last 500,000 miles? No,
Nope.
they would go broke, right?
Yep.
Does the medical profession want you to be healthy? If everybody was healthy, they'd be out of work, wouldn't they? You got to always look at the motive and the money behind it. All right, Patrick, we're about out of time. Resveratrol, we talked about the bread, the wine that strengthens a man's heart. What about the bread that strengthens your heart? What did they take out of the bread back 100 years ago?
They rob the bread to make it last longer. Omega-3 oils, like Dr. Hovind says, omega-3, lecithin, vitamin E. These are taken out of the bread to make that shelf life longer, but that is a bad move. We need these things. Omega-3, wonderful for blood flow, absolutely wonderful. We have two main fats, omega-6, omega-3 in our diets. It should be about 1-to-1 up to 4-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. In America, it's like 40-to-1. We have way too many omega-6. They should leave the omega-3 oils in that bread. That is healthy for not only our heart, but also our brain. And the reason why is a large component of omega-3 is DHA. DHA is a critical component for our brain. It's a big portion of our brain, and they remove omega-3 oils from these things just to make them last longer. Vitamin E is removed, and vitamin E, I tell people, is so crucial for so much. And the main reason why is cholesterol. Cholesterol is so demonized today. Bad cholesterol, good cholesterol. If cholesterol is too high, well, here's the thing. Your cholesterol levels, and this is true, could be somewhat normal or a little higher and zero plaque, or they could be a little lower, filled with plaque. And the reason why is because we are now becoming devoid on vitamin E. Vitamin E in the body literally hitches rides on cholesterol particles for transport. This is how vitamin E is transported throughout the body. It hitches rides on cholesterol. And in doing so, keeps cholesterol from hardening within the arteries. It keeps cholesterol from oxidizing within the arteries. They need to put the vitamin E back in this, or they need to use what was used throughout history, which is the whole wheat, the wheat germ with the whole grain wheat bread. They need to be using that, not just white bread, totally devoid of all this stuff. Lecithin is another thing that is wonderful for cholesterol. Why today are we all having plaque in our arteries? That's not normal. We shouldn't be filled with gunk and plaque in our arteries. Well, lecithin, believe it or not, is amazing for bile flow. So they remove the lecithin, but bile flow is so much improved by lecithin. Bile comes from the liver, stored in the gallbladder, and it's used to digest fats, it's used to digest oils, and it's used to extricate or get rid of excess cholesterol in the body or backing up cholesterol in the body. Without sufficient bile flow, your cholesterol backs up in your blood vessels. Now, the issue here is most people have bile about like the consistency of motor oil. It's sludgy. It's really sludgy and slow. It gets backed up. You want this consistency of gasoline, super liquid, super thin, but most people are not like that. Lecithin will do that. Lecithin improves bile flow within the body and it helps prevent or helps at least lessen cholesterol from backing up within the arteries. It's wonderful. All of this stuff is wonderful for your heart health. It keeps your heart healthy, which today it's not so.
The whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead.
Yes,
There's
sir.
things they took out. The love of money, root of all evil. The Bible, see, Jesus said, give us this day our daily bread. They had to break the bread fresh every day because it goes bad. If the bread doesn't go bad, something's wrong with it. They took out the stuff that needs to go bad. So daily bread. So anyway, Patrick, I know you can go for 6 months on this topic. Thank you so much. You've been a blessing. So I'll talk about the wine. Maybe you got something to add. The Bible talks quite a bit about the word wine. What is this wine they're talking about? Well, there's a fermented and there's an unfermented wine. There's a good article explaining, I don't know, it's onlinebaptist.com. I don't know anything about them, but they had a good article explaining that Jesus did not make drink alcoholic wine while he was on earth. Look at that article, Online Baptist. Who hath woe, who hath sorrow, who hath contentions, who hath babbling, who hath wounds without cause, who has redness of eyes? They that tarry long at the wine. Talking about the winos and the alcoholics. They got these problems. They babble. They got wounds. They don't know what happened to it. Put up your arm. They were drunk. Look not thou upon the wine when it's red. So apparently there's a time when the wine is not red, when it giveth his color in the cup, when it moveth itself aright. So he said here, don't look at the wine when it ferments. So the word wine in the Bible can mean grape juice, unfermented wine, or alcoholic wine. At the last it biteth like a serpent and stingeth like an adder. Thine eyes shall behold strange women. Thy heart shall utter perverse things. When people get drunk, they say the craziest things, don't they? Yea, thou shalt be as he that lieth down in the midst of the sea, he that lieth upon the top of a mast. They have stricken me, shalt thou say, I was not sick. They beat me and I didn't feel it. when, when shall I awake? I will seek it yet again. I'm going to go get drunk again. That's what there's. He said, don't touch the stuff, okay? Don't even look at it when it gets fermented. Look not thou upon the wine when it is red. So I made a decision as a young teenager based on these verses. I'm not going to touch it. Never tasted it in my life. 72 now. Financial cost. What's it cost to drink? Well, let's see. In New York, the average amount spent on alcohol, $121,000 in a lifetime. What could you do if you had $121,000 right now? I've never seen that much in one time, but I'd buy something with it, right? Finish our Noah's Ark. High hidden costs of alcohol. Plus, it destroys your health, not just the financial cost of drinking. The criminal justice, they're probably going to get in trouble. Workplace productivity, you're going to miss work because you're drunk. Look not thou upon the wine when it's red. I Googled this morning, East Peoria Community High School, where I went to school. And up came a picture of the very yearbook of the year I graduated. I would like to get one of those. If you know where there is one, find me one, please. That's the year I graduated, 1971. My sophomore year, I got saved, and Proverbs 23 made me decide to never taste it, never touch it. How much money did I save? How many of you, if you had all the money back you've ever spent on alcohol, you could buy a nice car? No, never mind. You don't need to raise your hand. Okay. Teen alcohol deaths. 1,885 young drivers were killed in motor vehicles in 1 year. Most of them alcohol related. So I think he's telling us in these verses about wine, which does not mean alcoholic wine, okay? I think he's talking about we should eat bread and vegetables and fruit. It tells us what to eat. Patrick, I started taking this electrolyte powder. I mix it in a little bitty tiny spoonful in a container of water, and I drink 2 or 3 of those every day. You guys that live around here and work with me, I'm pretty active and go full speed all day, don't I? Yeah, it's what some of you don't have any energy because you eat like a slob. You're eating junk food. When I get a muscle cramp, I take magnesium. This vitamin B12, little tiny pill. I take one of those in the morning. I'm in high gear all day long. Feed your body what it needs. Give your car the gas that it needs, the oil that it needs. You service your car, and God gave herb for the service of man. And you evolutionists who believe all this happened by chance, you got a real another major problem. The symbiotic relationship between man and the plants. It all just happened, over billions of years. There's certain kinds of stupid that are just unfixable. If you believe you're related to a carrot and you all came from a rock, you'd have to go to college for years to be that stupid. Yep, you really would. Okay, Patrick, any final words on the bread or the wine or things, oil? What about 2 minutes, Patrick? Oil to make his face to shine.
Yes, absolutely. So oil, the main thing with regards to oil is.
Hang on, is that hyaluronic acid? You buy this at Walmart, glowing skin. It's got hyaluronic acid. I tell people all the time, oh, my joints hurt. Take hyaluronic acid.
Yep.
2 minutes, Patrick, summarize it. What's it do?
Bill Sardi had people cancel their knee surgeries with hyaluronic acid. It's unbelievable. So it's a gap filler. It's in our skin, it's in our eyes, it's in our hair, it's in our lungs. It's a jelly-like substance. It makes our lungs expand and contract properly. And it's in our joints. It's filled in our joints. We have stuff in our joints called synovial fluid, and it contains hyaluronic acid. It cushions our joints. And we lose it as we age. We start to diminish in hyaluronic acid. This is why women lose height as they age. They're not losing height because of their bones shrinking. The discs in between their vertebrae are losing hyaluronic acid. So what do you do to maintain your height, to maintain your hair, to maintain your joints? You take hyaluronic acid. When you take it supplementally, what happens actually is it stimulates cells in our bodies called fibroblast cells to produce higher levels and more youthful levels of hyaluronic acid once again. If you have bone-on-bone arthritis, take hyaluronic acid. If your hair is drying out, if you have eye issues, take hyaluronic acid. It is a wonderful, wonderful molecule that in the States kind of goes unrecognized, but you look at a place like Japan, they spend around $2 billion a year on hyaluronic acid. So the world knows about this, but they keep it kind of unfortunately hidden and secret. And here, because a customer cured is a customer lost, and it is a money thing, and they don't want a simple fix to these things that can't be patented. So hyaluronic acid, if you have any arthritis, please take hyaluronic acid. It is wonderful for the human body. And oil make it the face to shine, or oil to make his face to shine, it is filled again with polyphenols. Olive oil especially is filled with polyphenols, which are absolutely tremendous for human health. It is unbelievable how many things these accomplish, resveratrol being one of the most potent polyphenols in regards to just so many different health problems. And the last thing I would like to say in regards to bread is something, the biggest thing, honestly, is bread is becoming so demonized today in our modern society with different fad diets. But bread contains something called phytic acid, IP6. So the number one driving factors that kind of increase our aging is, and Bill Sardi really blew this open, is the accumulation of iron, copper, and calcium. We need iron, copper, and calcium. But once we reach full physical maturation, it accumulates in the body and we begin to age, and it takes a really huge aging toll on our body. Well, bread contains high amounts of phytic acid, IP6, that chelates or binds to excess iron, copper, calcium, and takes it right out of the body. It won't take calcium from your bones, it won't take iron from your blood, and it won't take copper from connective tissue, just where it's in excess, just where it's causing problems. So bread, for the vitamin E, for the omega-3, for the lecithin, for the IP6, it is a very healthy option to eat whole wheat bread, and it's actually a good option, despite what so many fads today say. All these things that the Bible touts are extraordinarily healthy for the human body.
All right, now, Patrick, tell folks how to get a hold of you. You're going to phone calls.
Absolutely.
We have some people here that are good mechanics. I got a question. I can take it to them. They probably know what's wrong, okay? Just really good with health. Somebody's got a health issue of any kind. You want to give your phone number?
Yep. My number is 570-814-5059. That is 570-814-5059. Please contact me anytime at all. I'm up at all hours, and my email is Yurish, that's YURISH ihp@gmail.com. You can shoot me an email. And my website, if you want to learn more about me and my work, it's Yurish, YURISHIHP.com. Please reach out anytime at all if you want to learn more about me. Hop on my website. I'd love to help you out.
All right. Here we are, folks. Back in Psalm 104, 3,000 years ago, God gave the answers to many medical problems we're still having. The Bible's way ahead of our modern medical profession. See you tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, call me. I'll be driving for the next hour. 855 Big Dino, extension 3. I'd be glad to talk with you. Any urgent questions coming in here now? Those are, no. All right. And thank you, visitors here. If you want to hang around a couple hours, I'll be back eventually. I'll give you the tour. If you want to spend the night, see Titus. Titus, raise your hand back there. Right there. Titus books all the cabins. And we have, we got them all ready from the group that just left, Titus. I have them all ready. Got them all ready? You've been up all day? Okay, all night. All right, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we'll get into more of the Psalm 104. Hopefully cover more than 6 verses. See you then. Bye.